Chosen and beloved one, listen with every fiber of your being. This is not a passing message or a vague warning. It is a divine alert meant for your spirit in this very hour. Heaven has spoken, and the call is urgent. A great spiritual blackout is approaching, one that will not simply darken the skies outside, but will reach into the very currents of the unseen world. For 3 days, the spiritual atmosphere will shift. The streams of energy and divine presence that many take for granted will pause, and only those who are prepared will stand shielded and unshaken. This blackout is not chaos without meaning, it is a sacred event with purpose. God has set this time apart as a divine reset, a pause in the constant noise of spiritual activity so that deeper works can be done in the hearts of His chosen. It is both a test and an invitation. For those unprepared, it may feel like silence, confusion, or emptiness. But for you, chosen one, it will be a shelter, a holy sanctuary of renewal, if you obey the call to prepare now. Your instructions are clear. Bless water bottles and place them at every door and window in your home. These are not mere bottles. They are vessels of your prayers, symbols of your faith, shields infused with divine intention. When placed with reverence, they create a spiritual barrier that darkness cannot cross. They stand as quiet guardians, holding the light when the outside world falls into stillness. Obedience is your lifeline in this season. God's voice is not calling you to panic, but to preparation. To remain inside during the blackout is not to hide in fear, but to stand in a chosen place of protection. A place where the presence of God will dwell richly, even while the world beyond your walls feels empty. Your home will become a sacred temple, charged with peace, guarded by unseen hands. In these 3 days, the usual flow of spiritual energy will seem distant. Many will feel restless, unsettled, or lost without understanding why. But you will know, you will understand that this is the moment to turn inward, to quiet your spirit, and to focus entirely on the one who called you. The silence outside will be a signal to deepen the conversation within. Prayer, meditation, and gratitude will be your constant companions. Think of this blackout as the great pressing of a heavenly reset button. Old patterns will break, stagnant energies will lift, and the clutter that has been clouding your vision will be swept away. God is not stripping away to leave you empty. He is clearing the space so that something far greater can take root. And He is doing it for you because you are among the few who have listened, the few who have chosen preparation over distraction. This is also a moment of divine alignment. Every act of readiness you take now, every bottle blessed, every prayer spoken, every quiet moment of trust, is sending a signal into the spiritual realms. It tells heaven you are awake. It tells the darkness you cannot be touched. And it anchors your home as a fortress of light in a time when the outside world will wander in uncertainty. While the unprepared stumble through confusion, you will be enclosed in peace. Not the fragile peace that breaks under pressure, but the deep, unshakable calm that comes from knowing God Himself has drawn a line around your dwelling and called it protected. This is the reward of faith, to feel the storm pass around you without touching you, to know that while the air beyond your walls is heavy, the atmosphere within is filled with warmth and divine presence. And when the blackout ends, you will not step out as you were before. You will rise renewed, lighter, clearer, stronger. You will carry a presence and a peace that others will notice instantly, though they may not be able to name it. They will feel it in your words, your actions, and even in your silence. Because you will have been set apart, refined in the stillness, and sent forward with blessings prepared in the hidden hours. So take these words to heart, chosen one. The time is not someday, it is now. Prepare your home, prepare your heart, and be ready to walk through this sacred pause with faith as your anchor. The world will not understand, but you do. You have been warned, and you have been chosen. There is a change in the air before the spiritual blackout begins, a subtle shift that the untrained will dismiss, but the awakened will feel in their bones. It is as if time itself starts to move differently. Hours stretch, moments deepen, and the ordinary hum of life feels muted, like the world is holding its breath. This is the whisper before the silence, the final echo before the great pause. You may feel an instinctive pull towards stillness, not the stillness of idleness, but of readiness. Your body knows when it has reached the threshold of a sacred moment. Your spirit leans forward, sensing that what is coming is not meant to harm you, but to transform you. It is a call to stop striving, to release the weight you've carried, and to stand open-handed, ready to receive. In these moments leading to the blackout, your senses may sharpen in unexpected ways. Memories might surface like waves, bringing faces, voices, and scenes from long ago. This is the soul's way of gathering its history, collecting every piece of who you are before stepping into the next stage. You will be reminded not just of where you've been, but of how far you've come. Every trial survived, every tear shed, every joy savored. They are not random moments, but sacred threads in the garment of your journey. For the chosen, this awareness is not something to fear. It is a gift. It allows you to see your life with clarity, to honor the battles you fought and the victories you've won. The darkness that is coming is not meant to erase your story, but to seal it, to prepare it for the chapter that follows. As the blackout approaches, the atmosphere will begin to feel different. You may notice a heavy stillness in the air, as though invisible hands are smoothing the ripples of the world. The usual background noise of life, the invisible spiritual currents you are so used to, will fade into an unfamiliar quiet. To the unprepared, this quiet will feel empty, even frightening, but for you it will be a sacred hush, the sound of heaven drawing near. This is why your preparation matters. The manifested water bottles at your doors and windows are more than physical objects. They are symbols of your alignment with divine instruction. They stand as watchmen over your home, infused with the intentions and prayers you have spoken over them. While the world outside feels stripped of its spiritual lifelines, your sanctuary will remain vibrant, alive with the energy you have anchored there. Remaining indoors during these days is not isolation, it is preservation. Think of your home as a sealed vessel on a stormy sea, carrying you safely through the waves until the waters calm again. It is a fortress not built by human hands alone, but by obedience, faith, and divine covering. Inside, you will find a peace that is deeper than any you've known, a peace that does not come from circumstances, but from presence, the presence that refuses to leave you, even in the thickest darkness. Your role during these 3 days is not to fight, but to abide. The battles that once consumed your energy will be fought for you in realms beyond sight. God will handle the enemies, the obstacles, and the unresolved struggles you've carried. This blackout is not abandonment, it is intervention. While the world outside struggles to make sense of what it cannot see, you will be hidden away in safety, while the ground beneath your destiny is being cleared and prepared. Do not underestimate the significance of this time. 3 days may seem short, but in the spiritual realm, it is enough to realign the course of your life. In this pause, old chains will fall, hidden doors will unlock, and paths long blocked will be cleared. You may not witness every change with your physical eyes, but when you step out afterward, the shift will be undeniable. And when the stillness ends, you will not return to life as before. You will walk into a new season with lighter burdens, sharper vision, and a deeper understanding of your purpose. The blackout is not just a period of waiting, it is the doorway to a new beginning. But only those who prepare, only those who listen, will walk through it ready. You are among those few. Stand firm, chosen one. Your readiness is your shield, and your faith is your light. When the first moments of the blackout arrive, the shift will be unmistakable. The air will feel heavier, as if the unseen world has draped a velvet curtain over the earth. Light may still exist in the physical sense, but spiritually, there will be a quiet that feels deeper than silence, a stillness that seems to stretch beyond the walls of your home into infinity. This is not an emptiness to fear, but a divine pause, a moment when the spiritual tides recede so the hidden work of heaven can take place. For many outside, this sudden absence of familiar spiritual currents will create confusion. They will feel as if something vital has slipped through their fingers without warning. Some will grow restless, others anxious, sensing change but unable to name it. But you will understand. You will know that this is the sacred moment foretold, the very reason you prepared your home, your heart, and your spirit. Inside your sanctuary, the atmosphere will be unlike anything you have ever felt. The manifested water bottles at each door and window will stand silently, yet their presence will be powerful. Every prayer you poured into them will hum like a quiet song in the air. They will be your guardians, keeping the energy within your home untouched by the spiritual void beyond. Your dwelling will become a cocoon of light, sealed off from the shadows that wander outside. This is the time to lean fully into peace, not the shallow peace that comes and goes with circumstances, but the deep, anchoring peace that can only come from divine presence. In this stillness, your spirit will be able to breathe in ways it hasn't in years. The chaos, noise, and constant pull of the world will fade, leaving only the gentle whisper of God's presence surrounding you. This is not an accident. This is the purpose. You will notice your thoughts slowing, your breath deepening. The urge to do will give way to the desire to simply be. And in that being, something profound will happen. Your heart will open. The wounds you've carried, often buried under the weight of daily survival, will come to the surface, not to break you, but to be healed. In these hours, the divine will work like a master surgeon, touching the deepest places of your soul with gentleness and precision. This blackout is also a reset of spiritual vision. As the noise of the world is stripped away, clarity will come. Ideas, dreams, and directions that once felt clouded will suddenly make sense. You may see clearly the steps you need to take when this sacred pause ends. The questions that have lingered without answer will begin to dissolve, replaced by a calm knowing. You will not just hope that God has a plan. You will feel it woven into your very being. Understand that the blackout is not only about protection, it is about transformation. The you who entered it will not be the you who emerges. Old fears will lose their grip. Doubts that once whispered in your ear will fall silent. In their place will grow a confidence that is not arrogance, but unshakable trust. The trust that comes from having been held and carried through a divine stillness. The world beyond your walls may stir with uncertainty, but you will remain untouched. Your home will be a lighthouse in the spiritual night, glowing not with electricity, but with the warmth of faith and the steady flame of God's presence. And that light will not only keep you safe, it will begin to prepare you for what comes next. Because when the blackout lifts, you will not just resume your life. You will step into a season of opportunity and favor unlike anything you've experienced before. The seeds you planted in faith, the prayers whispered in the stillness, the gratitude spoken in the silence, will begin to bloom, and the harvest will be rich, not only in blessings you can hold in your hands, but in the strength, wisdom, and peace you will carry within. Chosen one, remember, this blackout is not a loss of power, it is a transfer of power. The world outside may dim, but within you, something brighter will be ignited. As the blackout deepens, time will begin to feel strange. The hours will lose their usual shape, stretching into something slower, more deliberate. The world outside will seem distant, as if it belongs to another realm entirely. Yet within your sanctuary, there will be an unmistakable sense of being held, not by walls or locks, but by an invisible presence that wraps itself around you like a protective mantle. This is when the quiet will begin to work on you in ways you didn't expect. The stillness will strip away distractions, forcing you to meet yourself fully. Every unspoken prayer, every forgotten dream, every ache you've buried will begin to rise to the surface. But here in this sacred pause, there is no rush to fix, no pressure to perform. Instead, the darkness outside will create a safe space for light to grow inside you. You will feel the gentle but undeniable weight of divine attention. It is as if God has turned his full gaze towards you, seeing not just your circumstances, but the truth of your heart. He will see the faith you've carried when it would have been easier to give up. He will see the nights you cried out for answers, the times you acted in kindness when no one was watching, the sacrifices you made quietly and without recognition. In this blackout, all of it matters. The manifested water bottles you placed with such care will now stand as silent witnesses to your obedience. They are more than symbols, they are spiritual sentinels. They absorb the intention you poured into them and return it as protection, a constant flow of guarded energy that holds your space intact. In many ways, they will feel alive, as if the very air around them vibrates with the faith that birthed them. Outside, unseen battles will rage. The spiritual silence is not an absence of activity. It is a withdrawal of divine currents to disarm forces that have long worked in the shadows. The enemy will find the battlefield empty, their usual channels cut off, their influence muted. This is why you must remain inside. You are not retreating, you are being shielded while the unseen work is done on your behalf. In these hours, allow yourself to rest fully. Let the tension fall from your body, the anxiety from your mind. This rest is not laziness, it is preparation. Just as a field must lie still before it bursts into new growth, so must you allow yourself to be stilled so the seeds planted in your life can take root. This is a fertile darkness, a holy ground where transformation is quietly taking place. You may find yourself filled with unexpected gratitude. Gratitude for the roof over your head, for the safety of your space, for the stillness that allows you to breathe deeply without rushing. Gratitude that you were warned, that you had time to prepare, that you were counted among the few entrusted with this knowledge. Gratitude that even in a moment the world might call blackout, you are experiencing a kind of light that cannot be extinguished. Understand this truth. The blackout is not meant to weaken you. It is meant to focus you, to strip away the noise until only what is eternal remains. It is God taking you into a room, closing the door and saying, "This is just for us now." And in that space, everything unnecessary falls away. When your thoughts drift toward the future, hold them loosely. You will not return to what was. The very structure of your path is being altered in these days, recalibrated to align with what was always meant for you. Opportunities will be prepared in your absence. Relationships will be mended or released without your interference. Paths you once thought blocked will be cleared before you even take the first step. When the final night of the blackout comes, you will feel it. The shift, the light gathering at the edges, the spiritual current slowly returning. It will be like the first hints of dawn after a long night. And when it comes, it will carry with it a surge of renewal so complete that you will know without question. This was never about loss. It was about making room for what could not enter your life until you stopped, listened, and allowed yourself to be remade. Chosen one, This is your cocoon. And when you emerge, the wings you carry will be unlike anything you have known. The final hours of the blackout will feel different. The heaviness in the air will begin to lift, and with it, a sense of quiet anticipation will grow inside you. It will be as though something vast and unseen is leaning forward, ready to open the door to a new chapter. The silence you have grown used to will not vanish instantly, but it will begin to hum with life again, like the faint sound of an orchestra tuning before the first note is played. You will feel the change before you see it. The walls of your home, which have sheltered you in peace, will seem to vibrate gently with the return of spiritual currents. The manifested water bottles, your faithful guardians, will stand as they always have, but now with a subtle release, as though their mission has been completed. They will remain as reminders of your obedience and faith, of the way you chose to trust when the world beyond your doors fell silent. Outside, the unseen work will be finished. The battles fought on your behalf will have been won without you lifting a hand. Chains will have been broken, paths cleared, enemies silenced, and though you may never witness the fullness of what was removed from your way, you will feel it in the lightness of your steps, in the clarity of your mind, in the peace that flows without interruption. This is when the blessings begin to arrive, not as a slow trickle, but as a surge. Opportunities will appear seemingly from nowhere. Long-awaited answers will find you without effort. Finances, relationships, health, and dreams that once seemed impossible will begin to shift in your favor. And you will know these are not coincidences. They are the divine harvest of the seeds you planted through faith, obedience, and trust in the stillness. The greatest gift you will carry out of this blackout is not what you gain in your hands, but what is transformed in your heart. You will emerge stronger, calmer, and more certain of who you are and whose you are. Fear will have lost its voice in your life. Doubt will no longer control your decisions. You will stand in the center of your calling with a confidence born not of arrogance, but of having been refined in a moment only God could orchestrate. The world will notice. They may not understand what happened to you in those 3 days, but they will see the change. They will sense the authority in your words, the steadiness in your spirit, the light in your presence. And some will be drawn to that light, searching for the same peace you found. Your story will become a testimony, a living example of how preparation, obedience, and trust in divine timing can lead to transformation beyond imagining. You will also find that the blackout was not an interruption to your journey. It was a necessary turning point. It removed what could not come with you into your next season. It shifted the foundations so that what is being built now will last. It proved that even in the absence of visible movement, God was working with precision and care to arrange every detail for your good. As the spiritual currents fully return, you will step outside into a world that feels both familiar and entirely new. The air will feel lighter, the colors sharper, the sounds richer. Even the simplest moments will carry a weight of gratitude, because you will know what it means to be covered, protected, and chosen for something greater. This is not the end of the story. It is the beginning of the life you were always meant to live. The blackout was the crossing point, the cocoon from which you now emerge. The time in stillness was not wasted. It was the place where you were made ready for everything that lies ahead. Chosen one, lift your head and open your heart. The doors have been unlocked, the way has been cleared, and the blessings have been released. Walk forward with the knowledge that you are not only protected, you are appointed. You have been set apart for this very moment, and nothing can stand in the way of what comes next. In the days after the blackout, you will begin to see just how deeply those 3 days have shaped you. At first, it may be subtle: a clearer mind, a lighter heart, a deep calm that doesn't fade even when challenges arise. But as time unfolds, you will realize that the transformation was not only spiritual, it has touched every part of your life. Your decisions will carry a new clarity. You will no longer be pulled in every direction by the noise of the world. Instead, your steps will feel guided, as if the path ahead is being lit moment by moment. That is because, during the blackout, the old confusion was stripped away. The cluttered voices, the unworthy distractions, the invisible chains that once tugged at you, they were all silenced in that sacred stillness. The blessings you begin to notice will feel almost surreal at first. Opportunities will align in perfect timing. Doors you once knocked on with no answer will now swing open effortlessly. Financial breakthroughs, restored connections, healed relationships, and unexpected favor will meet you along the way. Yet the most remarkable part will be how naturally these blessings flow into your life. They will not feel forced or chased. They will feel like the natural result of who you have become. The lessons of the blackout will remain with you. You will understand the power of stillness, the necessity of preparation, and the deep security of trusting God's timing. You will know that your sanctuary is not just a physical space, but a spiritual condition, something you can carry with you wherever you go. The manifested water bottles may eventually be taken down, but the energy and intention they represented will remain imprinted in the walls of your home and the walls of your heart. And perhaps most importantly, you will have a testimony to share. The world is full of people wandering in spiritual darkness, searching for the peace you now carry. Your story will be a light to them, a reminder that even in the deepest silence, God is moving. Even in the absence of visible answers, the seeds of breakthrough are being watered in secret. You will look back on the blackout not as a time of fear, but as the greatest turning point in your journey. It will be the chapter that redefined you, the moment you learned to be still and let divine hands rearrange your life. You will see how what seemed like a pause was actually acceleration. How the very days you spent in quiet were the days heaven was building the future you now walk in. As you move forward, hold on to this truth. The God who carried you through the blackout is the same God who walks with you into the light. His protection did not end when the stillness lifted. His guidance will not fade as you step into your next season. You have been reshaped, realigned, and recommissioned for the life you were destined to live. The world will keep moving at its usual pace, but you will move differently now. Not rushed, not desperate, but steady, sure, and filled with unshakable peace. Every step will be an act of faith. Every choice, a reflection of the wisdom you gained in the quiet. And with each day, you will see that the blessings released in that sacred pause were not just for survival, they were the foundation of a life overflowing with purpose, abundance, and joy. The blackout was never meant to be the end. It was the doorway, and now chosen one, you have walked through it. The journey ahead is yours, radiant, unstoppable, and forever touched by the hand of the divine.